Crack a can, turn it up, let it play. BeerDad and Brewed, here we go. Justin Allen on the mic, foam in the glass. Craft beer knowledge, yeah, the man's got class. Styles and aromas, breaking it down. From pilsners to stouts when the Brewzilla sound. Mash step steady, hops in the bowl. From grain to the tap, yeah, he earns that toll. From the first home brew spill to the perfect pour. Every beer tells a story, always want more. IPA, lager, stout and ale. From pills to porter on the flavor trail. Hazy, dark, crisp or brewed, turn it up loud. BeerDad and Brewed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. As always, I am the hostess with the mostest, the BeerDad himself, Justin Allen, and I'm joined here by my very special guest, Matthalamu Denzer. How the hell are you?
Doing well, doing well.
As you can see, we are on location at a very special place. We're out in the middle of the ocean in the Bahamas. How about that? And more specifically, we are on the Disney Cruise Line Fantasy ship, and we're going to tell you a little bit about the beers that you can get on the ship and do a little tasting for you, and later we have a special surprise in store for you. So let's get to it. So we're starting out, we're in the Caribbean, and one of the biggest beers that you can get in the Caribbean, I know we said we're in the Bahamas, and we'll get to a Bahamian beer, but and we see this in the Americas, but it's funny how this is like the big beer around here in the Caribbean. This is Red Stripe, straight from Jamaica. So this is really cool. It's a lager beer. We'll give it a shot. Cheers, buddy. Happy cruising. What do you think of that?
It's refreshing.
Yeah, I really like Red Stripe. It's one of those easy drinking lagers, and it always kind of takes you to the islands. Like, it makes you think, hey, you know what? I'm in the Caribbean, and I'm going to enjoy a nice cold beer. It's really cool, funny talking about ice cold. You can see Matt's got a sweater on, and I've got a long sleeve underneath, and it's because for whatever reason on the cruise they decided to put a cold front out here, and we're experiencing some cold weather. We had a hot day yesterday on the beach. We were on the island of, was it Izithra? Is that how you say it? Lookout Key or Lookout Point, Disney's new private beach there. First time there, really cool experience. Just as a heads up though, a little bit of a walk to get to the beach. It's got a long rampway that goes from the ship to where you get on the shuttle to take you to the beach. And of course it's a long beach day, and with the kids and everything else, it's pretty crazy. So be prepared for that. But on the island, they did have some good beers, right? They had, we had, I think it was a Pirate Republic beer, which is a craft brewery based out of the Bahamas. So if you're ever on a cruise and you dock at Nassau, get off the boat and you go down that front area where they have all the shops and bars and everything, and there's a Pirate Republic brewery, and they make some damn good beer, and the beer we had was pretty good. Yeah, what did you think of that beer?
Yeah, it was good. Very fruity, but not overpoweringly sweet.
It definitely said, I'm on an island.
Yeah.
You know, that's for sure.
Yeah.
What you see, what we're drinking out here, for tips for the dads going on these Disney cruises, this is the mug. You want to get it on your first day. You purchase it for $18. You get to keep the mug at the end of the cruise. However, if you don't want to lug this thing around, after you're done drinking for the evening, you can turn the mug in and they'll give you a little card that's a token. You can take that back to the bar and get it replenished, and you'll get a new mug with your fill. You can also take this mug and pour it with their own beers that you have, and that's what we did here. So on the first day of the ship, they have a special where you can buy 20 beers, 24 beers for the price of 20 beers, and it comes with this handy dandy cooler bag. And no, I don't work for Disney. And it's full of ice. They'll put some beers in your fridge and fill this so you can enjoy it on your first day on embarkation day. But you get to get this mug, and they have it in plastic and glass. And when you go home, turn in your token, take a glass mug home, you got yourself a souvenir. So for $18, not a bad deal. But when you fill it, that's the cool part, Matt, is you fill them, these are 24-ounce mugs, and you pay for the price of a regular pour. So it's like getting almost like buy one, get one free every time you buy a beer. So one-time purchase, $18, keep the souvenir, get some cheap beers on board. So in part of my beer package, I was able to get Red Stripe. I also was able to get some Guinness, See, it was Guinness, Red Stripe. I got some Italian beer.
Oh yeah, the Peroni.
Peroni beer. So you can get a nice mix of different styles of beer in that first initial beer purchase. But as far as craft beer, we love to support craft beer here on the BeerDad and Brewed podcast. There's several choices all throughout the boat where you can find craft beer. There's nightlife, some bars down in the aft of the boat. So here on the Fantasy, all the adult stuff is on the aft down on, was it floor 4? There's we call it Europa, and there's several different pubs. There's like a French one, an Irish pub called O'Gill's, which we're going to be at later on. But this is, there's plenty of beer on board, and you can find so many options. Price-wise, a little bit cheaper than if you were at Disneyland. Still a little pricey, and that's why I definitely recommend buying this mug, because you're going to pay for the price of the smaller beer but have much more content in it, 24 ounces. So tip for the dads, you got to follow that tip. But as far as this Red Stripe goes, I feel like I'm in the islands. It's an easy drinking, clean lager, and I love it. Cheers. Oh, you finish yours. I got to catch up. So we're a couple of dads, and we're experiencing the Disney cruise part of the dad life. It's pretty crazy, right?
It's wild.
There's a lot of stuff for the kids to do, which affords us the time to do some stupid shit like this, right? But they're down in the pool, water slides, all that kind of stuff. There's also a kids club they can check into, which I'm actually kind of jealous. The kids club looks pretty badass. They got like a Star Wars room where you can like fly the Millennium Falcon and do all this cool stuff. And yeah, I'm jealous about that. We might have to pretend to be kids later on and sneak in. Yeah. But I mean, it's great. The cruise ship can be enjoyed by all. You don't have to have kids to come on. We're actually in the adults only portion of the cruise ship right now, just because you still got some background noise, give you the vibe of being on a cruise ship. But if we were over on the other side of the ship, it'd be pretty noisy, I think, with the kids running around. They're playing a movie up on the top deck. All the kids are in the pool. They're riding the slides. They got this big crazy slide that goes around the ship called the Aqueduct. And that's pretty intense. You went on that with, who'd you go with, Hunter?
I was going to go with Hunter, but he backed out.
Oh, yeah. So who would you ride with, by yourself?
No, I still have not gone.
Oh, you haven't gone? Oh, okay.
I need to do it before we get out of here.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe me and you go, and that'll look real silly. It's pretty crazy. It's like, sit on a tube, and it shoots you around the whole entire thing, and there's even one portion that overhangs the ocean. So you got that, like, intense moment of, like, oh, my God. But, yeah, pretty crazy. All right, so let's go back to the beers. So since we are in the Bahamas, the captain actually told us earlier that we're cruising around Grand Bahama Island. So I thought that for the show, we needed to have some Kalik, and this is a Bahamas beer. This is the beer of the Bahamas. I've had Kalik on every trip to the Bahamas, so it has a special place in my heart. And yes, I do like to support craft beer, and this is a big beverage for them. But it just takes me back. It reminds me of the turquoise water, the white sand beaches, every time I hear the name Kalik. So we're going to have some of that and compare it to the Red Stripe, which is Jamaican beer. So here we go. Here's for the sound creep. So put this by my microphone. Oh, there we go. All right. Hand me your mug there, Matt. Whew. And by the way, it's freezing cold here on the ship. And this beer is no warmer, because holy cow. Let's see, give you a little bit more there. Whew. Sometimes I wish this was the Coffee Dad and Brewed podcast when it's this cold. I'm a wuss though, but there you go. There's the Kalik and the Red Stripe. So a little bit of a comparison, and we'll let you know. What do you think, Matt? Have you taken a sip yet?
Just re-sip.
What do you think?
Definitely a little different.
Mm-hmm.
The Red Stripe is kind of, I don't know, almost like, not like water. I don't want to insult it by saying it's like water, but it's
got more oomph to it.
And then this one's got a bit of a bitterness to it, maybe a little bit of a bite.
Yeah.
But it's good.
I feel like on the color here, a little bit clearer on the Kalik. And there's just that very distinct flavor. Like I said, for most people that have never had it, you probably haven't been to the islands, because they serve it pretty much every Bahama island. In fact, this Kalik we bought on the Lookout Key Izithra beach that we went to, they had a package. You buy 5 beers, get 1 free. There's always a deal here, right? Because most cruise lines, they offer that drink package where you can get unlimited drinks. They don't do that on Disney. Some people say it's like a nickel and dime thing with Disney, but I look at it as you do have opportunities to save money when you do the buy one get ones, or you do the beer mug and you get more beer for the price of a smaller beer. Different things that you can do. But I mean, I get it. It's a family boat. They don't want people doing the whole carnival booze cruise just getting sloshed by 10 a.m. and they got to be carried back to their room because they're covered in puke, So it makes sense. But yeah, this is good. It takes me back. One of my favorite stories about Kalik was we went on a Disney cruise and we took this private boat that took us to a private island for a beach day in Nassau, and it was like Lighthouse Point, or I can't remember the name of it, but it's a really cool little enclosed island, and it had dolphins you could swim with. There was snorkeling lagoons, and I just remember I got on the beach side. We were going to go snorkeling, and a gentleman comes out and he's like, "What can I get you? I got drinks." And of course the girls wanted those fruity drinks, And I was like, "What do you got for beer?" And he's like, "We got the best beer in the Bahamas, Kalik." And I was like, it was the first time I ever had it. And I said, "I'll take that." He brought me a whole bucket. And man, they were crisp, they were refreshing. And just being on that white sand with that crystal clear water and crushing a Kalik beer is just really cool. So every time I go on a cruise, visit the Bahamas, I got to have some Kalik. But I'll still gravitate towards the craft, but it's good stuff. So cheers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely more character than the big beers in America, I'd say.
Yeah, I feel like for us, we're with our butt wiper, as I like to call them, and Coors Light and Miller Water and all those different beers that we have, the big InBevs and stuff like that. It's very straightforward. A lot of people can recognize Budweiser as far as you can throw something because it has that distinct kind of battery taste to it. No offense to my Budweiser drinkers, but yeah, it's not a whole lot of flavor. I feel like when you go and you experience a different culture somewhere else, their national beer or their beers seem to be a little bit more flavorful than us. And of course that's why I like to support the craft beers, because we get so many options, especially us, between San Diego and Los Angeles. There's so much craft beer that's amazing that we can get to at an inch's reach. But these beers are good, and kudos to Jamaica and Bahamas for pumping out some good beer.
Definitely.
Yeah. So this I've been on several Disney cruises. This is Matt's first inaugural Disney cruise, right? Well, because he became a dad, just 3-4 years ago. So yeah, you'll probably be on more. What are your first initial thoughts, having been on a different cruise ship and then being on a Disney cruise?
Gosh, last one was like crazy to say, like almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know the. Some similar vibes. Everybody, I almost feel bad at how helpful everybody tries to be with the wait staff and the service folks, and they're just super nice. They're probably talking crap about everybody behind our backs.
Oh, most definitely. Excuse me, sir. Can I put extra butter on your bread? And you're like, no, I can do that myself. And then they're like, that son of a bitch. But they are, and that's what I noticed. The difference between the cruises I'd been on before Disney Cruise is that the staff is so much more friendlier, and the service is next level. And I feel like some people say, well, Disney's much more expensive, and it's kind of like, I feel like it's one of those situations where you get what you pay for. You are paying for the better service. You're paying for the higher quality food at dinner. I mean, our dinners are super fancy. The beer wife's not a big fan of that fancy stuff, but we are. Yeah. I mean, what, you had duck last night?
Had some duck, had some lamb. We sampled some escargot for those of you who are
Snells, for those that don't know what escargot is.
Tasted like shrimp scampi.
Mm-hmm.
But some tasty food.
I had albacore. What else did I have last night? Seared ahi, and then I had what was the lamb, the rack of lamb, and that was the BeerDad loves lamb. It's one of my favorite things. In fact, I just had some at lunch. They had a little Indian cuisine section, and they had tandoori lamb leg. I've never had that in my life. Two things I love: lamb and tandoori chicken.
Yeah.
So to take the lamb and put the tandoori sauce in it and have it roasted on the out, oh my God, it was delicious.
Yeah, it's very tasty.
Put it in some naan bread with a little bit of the chicken marsala sauce. Oh, that was so good. But yeah, they're treating us very nice with the food here. For those that don't know, the Disney cruise, you have sit-down dinner. Every night you get the same waiter, same beverage person. They follow you to every restaurant, and different menus every night. Very fancy. But what's cool is, you know, when I say fancy, you think of those places like out in Los Angeles where it's $100 a plate and you get this little tiny portion. Like you order scallops and it's one scallop in the middle of the plate with a bunch of drizzled sauces on it, and it's $150. It's kind of a similar concept here with the fancy style plates. However, if that's not enough for you, you can order more or multiple plates, and it's nice to have a table with a large gathering so you can all order little different things and try, sample off of it. And it's all made fresh for dinner. It's not like a buffet or anything. And they do have the buffet for breakfast and lunch, but they also have sit-down breakfast and lunch that you can go to if you don't want to go to the buffet. So there's so many food options, including the top deck. Holy cow. There's what? I like to call it a bootleg Chipotle, but it's like, what's the guy from Cars, the Ramon? So it's like Ramon's Taco Shop, I think it's called. And, you can get like Chipotle bowls and tacos. There's a burger joint, chicken strips, like all day long. A pizza place, you can get cooked to order pizza. It's all unlimited, included in your cruise fare. So there's a lot that is included here that you don't have to pay for, other than the booze and the brews, right? But BeerDad's got you covered with the tips and tricks. Get that beer mug on the first day, buy the beer package, and all adults that board bring a 6-pack of beer of your choice. 12-ounce cans or bottles, though. It can't be 16 or 24, so make sure it's 12 ounces. And then you got that in your fridge, and you can walk around, you can fill your mug with it, whatever you want to do, but pretty cool. So, all right. I don't know, I feel like I want to go dark. We're going to do a little bit of craft beer. So, local to Port Canaveral, there is a Carib Brewing, which Carib is a big Caribbean brewery, but they have a location there in Port Canaveral, and they do a lot of local brewing too as well. And so I thought, we got 2 beers from them. This is going to be totally different because we just had some crushable lagers. We get this bad boy out. So we are going to do a stout, which I'm excited for. This is a triple stout, and this is a McKesson. Ooh, check that out. So I got this from the Carib Brewery. We're going to give it a shot. Ooh, it is ice cold. Almost might be too cold for a stout. Let's see. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, that smells good. See your mug there.
Thank you.
It's ice cold. So we'll have to, what I want to do here, Matt, with this one is I want to compare it to, say, a Guinness.
Yeah.
ABV-wise, we're pretty close here. This is only 4.9%, but really dark, really thick. Give it a shot.
Smells nice.
Brewed by Carib Brewery. There you go. It's got a really nice chocolatey, thick foam on the head. Really dark. I wouldn't say the viscosity super thick. This is probably similar to a Guinness minus the nitro.
Yeah.
So let's give it a shot. That's damn good. Is that not good?
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like.
So don't get me wrong. I am a huge Guinness fan. Absolute huge Guinness fan. But again, kind of like the Kalik, it has a meaning behind it, right?
Yeah.
BeerDad's got some Irish heritage. I love drinking Guinness. I love that creamy mouthfeel that the Guinness gives you. It's a very nostalgic flavor. But in the world of stouts, we don't all have to be copycats of Guinness, right? We can be unique. We can be different. This one presents with a very bold, and I would say mainly like a chocolate coffee flavor, right? And you get that a lot in stouts, but this one is like, I feel like there's no like alcohol taste to it.
No, yeah. It's like
and I know it's
chocolate
low ABV, but man, I could get tossed on these things.
Yeah.
Really easy drinking, really tasty. If you have someone that tells you, I don't like beer, but they like chocolate and coffee, try one of these. It's really good. I'm not blowing smoke, I promise. That's a really good stout. And this is the first time I've ever had this stout. I've never had this stout before. Kudos to Cara Brewery and that little spot in Port Canaveral. Go visit them next time you go on a cruise. Literally, luckily, it was right behind our hotel right before we got on the cruise ship. So we stayed in the hotel the night before. I went and ran over there to get us some 6-packs to take on the boat, and I may have partook in a couple samples just to make sure I knew what I was getting was going to be good. So this is damn good.
Really
and I love stouts, and this isn't heavy, because I had to like kind of give up on the stouts for a while because I hit 40 and my body said you can't do that no more. But this is damn good. Cheers to Cara Brewery. Wow. I don't know if I can top that one. That was really good. This is one of the best beers I've had on the trip. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. An original triple stout. McKesson. I don't know how to say it. Cara can correct me when they listen to this. But it is made by Cara Brewery here. Cara Brewery USA. Go check them out, carabreweryusa.com. They have a couple locations throughout the United States, but the one in Port Canaveral, near and dear to my heart, because I like to stop there before I get on a cruise ship. Perfect location. You guys were smart with that one. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know, Matt. I don't know if we can top that at all. What do you think?
Would have been a good finale. But, yeah, no, it's great flavor.
Good thing there's another one in the room, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or at the very least, I might have to stop there when we get back from the cruise ship to take some
Get
home.
another 6.
Yeah, that's really good. I like that. So anyways, I know I've had some messages sent to us by some of the podcast listeners, and they're asking, for all the tips and all the tricks for the Disney cruise, and so I'll throw some of that out there. I've given you a lot, right? We've talked about the mug. We've talked about the beer package that comes with your handy dandy ice pack. It also has a bottle opener. Take it on the beach and enjoy your beverages. And I don't work for Disney. But so I would say for your first time dads, moms that are going to be taking that Disney cruise, make sure that you get everything booked well in advance. Both Matt and I here in a little bit, we're doing a beer tasting now. We're going to go do a beer tasting on the Disney cruise, led by one of the Disney employees, and we're going to mic them up and share it with you, so that should be fun. But also, those are things that book really fast. So my wife went on and actually booked that probably, 6 to 8 months ago. And if you look, when you get on the ship, a lot of the things aren't available to book anymore. Some of the special, like they have whiskey tastings, bourbon tastings, cognac tastings, wine tastings, beer tastings, all of that. And so those fill up, right? Because the adults need their Disney time, right? We got to have some fun. So make sure you book those. Also, excursions. If you're going to go on excursions, those book up really, really fast. So make sure to book those relatively quickly. And then one thing that we tried to do is we wanted to get a family cabana on the first island that we went to, the Lookout Cay, and they were gone like that. So make sure you book, because there's not that many, right? I mean, I probably counted like 6 on the adult side, maybe 10 on the family side. So they'll go really quick, and they are pricey, but if you have a large group and everybody kind of splits the cost, it's not that bad. And you have your own private room, private bathroom. You've got a refrigerator with drinks and snacks, waters and stuff like that, so you don't have to go very far. And then you have a beach right out in front of your cabana. So it's kind of nice. But if you don't get that, make sure you leave and get off the boat early so you can get a prime spot on the beach. We left right around the time, which is 8:30, right? We got off, and again, Lookout Cay, long walk. Has this long ramp. You'll see, I'll probably have some pictures posted and stuff like that from our trip. But you walk that, they say it's about a quarter mile or something like that. And then you get on a tram, and then the tram will take you all the way to the beach. You cannot walk to the beach. I mean, you can. For those health nuts, throw your Brooks running shoes on. By all means, sweat it, do it.
Be a good mile.
But yeah, it's pretty far. But when you get on the beach, get a prime spot early in the day. You can stay as long as you want. I think we stayed till about, 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
So we were out there, by the time we got on the beach, it was about 9:15, and we were there till almost 3. So it was a long day. Kids got sunburnt. Old Uncle Matt and I maybe had a few liquid libations. The girls had their drink of the day. There's several bars scattered throughout the beach there where you can get beers. And again, there on the island, we had Pirate Republic, which is craft beer. I think there was an Elysian, like Pog, Passion Orange Guava IPA. So you got some craft choices. And then, of course, there's all the regular standards, like the Kalik and Red Stripes and Coors and Miller and all that kind of stuff. And then they had a full bar where you could have any drink made. Mrs. Matthew, I believe you got her a mojito. Yeah. So and it was a legit one. It wasn't poured. Like he literally grinded the mints and the lime and everything. So that was pretty cool to watch. And the girls got their drinks in pineapples. Yeah. Little rubber pineapples. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, we had a good time. So make sure you get there early, reserve a good spot, get an umbrella. It does get hot, and also bring lots of water. Because if you're there all day, you can get dehydrated relatively fast. And again, the salt water also helps with that relatively fast. And you'll want to the water is, tell them what you saw.
Crystal clear.
It's almost fake, right?
It looks fake if you stand off in the distance and you're looking at the beach from up on the walkways. You think that you're in like a CGI picture. Yeah,
it don't look real. I mean, these clouds look fake. It looks like we're on a green screen, but we're definitely not on a green screen. Yeah. We're on the top deck. Deck 12 on the forward of the ship here in the adult area. But yeah, so get there early, get your spot reserved, bring lots of water, enjoy the craft beverages that you can find, and have a good time. Just enjoy your family and be there. And then get back on the ship. One thing I do recommend too, for the cruisers that have never been. It sounds crazy. It's going to sound crazy, but you want to book the second dinner, and there's a reason why. So first dinner is at normal dinner time, but remember, us California folks, we're 3 hours behind. Second dinner is at 8:15, and the reason why you want to do second dinner is because when you go on these excursions, you don't have to rush back, like haul butt back to the boat and shower and get ready and hustle to dinner by 6 o'clock. If you are back at the very end of like get back on the boat time, right? You have all this time to catch a show, get ready for dinner, all that kind of stuff, and it gives you more time, I feel. And again, talking about the dinners, the portion sizes are so small, so if you eat something earlier when you are hungrier, you're fine because you can have like the smaller portions at dinner. But I just think it's a good tip and trick so you can get the most time on the beach, most time on your excursions. Whereas if you have first dinner, you got to hustle back to that boat to get to first dinner. So one of my recommendations, some people will be like, that's crazy. I can't eat at 8 o'clock at night. But again, that's 5 o'clock for us in the West Coast. So it really isn't that bad, honestly. But again, it gives you more time to do all the fun stuff, especially if you do book like a paid excursion, not just a private island. If you like land on like Nassau and you do like one of those boat rides or pirate experiences or rum tours or whatever it is, you don't have to rush. So book the second dinner. I promise it's okay. Trying to think of some other things. I would say that depending on your lifestyle and things that you want to do, there's different parts of the ship that you would want to book as far as a room goes. We're in the aft, which is the back of the boat. You're going to get some noise from the motor depending on what level you're on. We're on deck 6 on this cruise. I don't really hear it too much, only when we're taking off or we're pulling in. You'll get that rumble. So if that's something you don't like, don't go in the aft. What we like about the aft is we are very close to our elevators that can take you down to the adult entertainment, right? We can go to all the bars and pubs and stuff like that. It's just a few levels down from where we're at. Or you go straight up to deck 11 and you're right there. It actually pops you off at the Cabanas buffet, which is where you want to go on your first day. When you get on the ship, it's a buffet, got crab legs and shrimp and lamb and prime rib and all the good stuff. And they serve breakfast and lunch at Cabanas. And if you don't want the buffet, there's other restaurants around that you can go to. But it's just more convenient being in the aft on this boat. Every boat is set up differently, so make sure you look at the setup, because there are some boats where like the adult entertainment district's in the forward of the boat downstairs. So it just depends on what boat you're on. So check that out, and it just depends on what you want to do or what your plans are for your days at sea, and then that can help you determine on what deck and what side of the boat, and do you want to be near elevators, do you want to be near stairs, and et cetera, et cetera. So any questions you have, feel free to send us DMs. I got you covered. I feel like I'm an experienced Disney cruiser now. But I've got it all kind of locked, you know. And I blame the beer wife because this is her thing. I just come along for the ride and she lets me drink beer. So I can't complain.
It's a good trade.
And I love the Bahamas. It's one of the most beautiful places. If I had my choice at retirement, BeerDad would have a fishing charter boat that I'd run in the Bahamas, and I'd live there 9 months out of the year. Hurricane season, I'd be up farther north. But it's absolutely beautiful. I love the people in the Bahamas. They're so friendly and so courteous and happy. I mean, who wouldn't be happy when you're staring at crystal clear turquoise waters, white sand beaches all year round? It's crazy. It's absolutely breathtaking in the Bahamas. That's why their slogan is, it's better. It's always better in the Bahamas. I mean, it really is. It doesn't get much better than the Bahamas. So yeah. I mean, there's a lot you can do on this ship. They have live Broadway shows. We've been to a couple of those. Those are pretty cool. I mean, even for us dads, you're kind of like, I don't want to go. Let's sit through this. And then next thing you know, the genie's busting jokes in the Aladdin show, and we got fireworks going off. I'm like, hey, this isn't bad. This is pretty cool. So to catch a Broadway show, they have actually a movie theater on board, and they play movies both on the top deck. There's a huge screen where you can sit in a pool or a jacuzzi and watch a movie. Or down, I believe it's in the 4th and the 5th decks, there's an actual full-blown movie theater with theater seating with a movie screen, and you can take up a movie at the nighttime. They have a little popcorn stand. You can get popcorn. That does cost extra. However, if you buy one of these handy-dandy popcorn buckets, I believe the refills are, what, $1.50?
It's like $1.50.
Yeah, so make sure you get one. And tip and trick, if you have a popcorn bucket already from Disneyland, bring it, and they will give you those refill prices. So again, we're all about saving money here on the Disney Cruise, because the Disney Cruise is like $10,000. No, it wasn't really $10,000, but it's expensive. So any way we can save you money, that's what I'm here for. But let's have another beer, Matt. This last one that I have here in our bag of tricks for now, we'll have some beers later. But this last one right here, this is a double IPA. And we already had one of these, so the cat's out of the bag, and we already know what we are expecting here. But here you go. We got some Swamp Ape double IPA, and this is from Carib Brewery, the one I just mentioned that we got the McKesson from. So let me just get this open for you. Ooh, for the sound creeps. I appreciate the little noise in the background. I'm going to rinse my mug. You want me to rinse your mug? There's still some water and ice in here. Get it nice and clean. That way you get that IPA taste going. Perfect. All right. Ooh, that smells delicious. Delicious and cold. There you go. Just sitting here looking at the view, enjoying a double IPA with my awesome brother-in-law. It doesn't get much better than this. I'm on a giant cruise ship in the middle of the ocean in the Bahamas. This is really cool. A lot of people will never do this in their lifetime, and sometimes it's because they can't, but then there's sometimes where it's because they're like, I don't want to go on a cruise. I'm a cruise person. I guess you could go somewhere and you could pay hundreds of dollars for hotel rooms and hundreds of dollars for food and this and that, and go to one place. I can go on a cruise ship, go to multiple places, and all my food, all my soda, all my iced tea, all my coffee, my desserts, all covered. Snacks, you could get room service, free room service. We had buffalo wings, a lamb pizza, a charcuterie board, and some Mickey ice cream bars delivered to our room last night for free. And they were delicious. Like, I mean, that's crazy. I mean, it's like food all day, right? You don't have to pay for it. There are some food purchases on the boat that cost money. There is a adults-only restaurant if you're really into the fancy. It's called Remy. And they have a world-renowned French chef. We actually got to meet her. She made some ratatouille. We got to sample it. It was really cool. But Remy restaurant that she cooks at, they make some really high-end fancy dishes, and it's only for adults. It's one of those romantic, like Valentine's anniversaries type dinner. I don't ever have to worry about paying for that because my wife doesn't like fancy food. So I could take her to a cheeseburger and she would think that was romantic. So cheers to the beer wife. But I don't know. I think your wife likes fancy food, so don't let her know about that place.
We do like the fancy food.
It's like $100 a plate for a little tiny scallop. You
Yeah.
know? I don't know. But this beer, where is it at? Let's check it out. So this is the Swamp Ape, coming in at around 10% alcohol. This is really heavy on the aroma. When you smell it, you're like, oh man, that's a big beer. And when I say big beer, I mean heavy ABV, and you can smell it. But what's crazy, Matt, and you probably agree, is that it's really not that heavy. No. For being 10%, you could drink these and be in a lot of trouble if you kept drinking them.
Yeah.
The girl there that was helping me at Carib, she was like, are you sure you only want 3? And I was like, well, I want to get a mix of everything. And she's like, are you sure? A lot of people like these. And I said, well, I think they like it because it's high ABV. But then when I tasted it, I was like, okay, well, it's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, most people will say, like, I have a buddy of mine, he will strictly buy based on ABV because he likes those high ABVs. Whereas myself, I don't care what it is. If it's a flavor I like, that's what I want to drink.
Right.
I naturally gravitate towards what we like to call in the industry shift beers, right? The Red Stripes and the Caliques, and some of my favorite lagers like Seek Brewing in San Diego. They make the Fortune Pilsner. That's one of my favorites. Crowns and Hops, the 8 Trill Pils, probably one of the best Pilsners in the game right now. You're lucky because you're close to the source, so you get that all over the place in Los Angeles. But Highland Park in LA too, they make a great crispy boy, as I like to call it, the Timbo Pils. But yeah, so that's everyday drinking beers. But I love variety. Variety is the spice of life, and that's what is great about craft beer. But for you guys coming on a Disney cruise, again, stay in Port Canaveral. Don't stay in Orlando and take the shuttle. Trust me when I say stay in Orlando or in Port Canaveral and visit Carib. Get your beers to take on the boat. Enjoy some beers there. Friendly staff, amazing people. I actually got waited on by a guy that doesn't work there. I hope he listens to this because he started following us after we got to talking. He was such a nice dude. He was like, what can I get you? And I was like, because I came in right towards closing, and I was like, well, I'm going to get some stuff to go, but I'd like to have a pint. And he's like, yeah, I got you. What do you want? And we were talking, and I said, surprise me. I don't care what it is. I like everything. And so he goes, and this girl that was there that actually works at the brewery, but she was off, she was like, he doesn't even work here. And I was like, really? And I was like, I don't care. If he wants to serve me a beer, it don't matter to me. And I was like, he's drinking a beer, so I know he knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So he brought me an IPA, and it was damn good.
That's funny.
So yeah, check out Carib Brewing before you get on the boat. Take your 6-packs, bring them on the boat. 1 6-pack per adult, and it's not just per stateroom. So myself, my wife, Matt, and his wife, we all could have had a 6-pack. So you can do that. It has to be 12-ounce, either bottles or cans, and you're allowed to bring it in. Now, if you go to port, if you go to Nassau, if you go to the Cayman Islands, if you go to Cozumel, you can actually buy more beer and bring it back on. 6 packs, 12 ounces. So every stop that you go, make sure to replenish, because usually buying it that way is a lot cheaper than buying it on the boat, unless you have one of these handy dandy mugs, $18. And you can refill it 24 ounces for the price of 12 or 16, and you get to take a mug home as a souvenir.
Can't beat
Right?
it.
The kids want souvenirs, but so do the dads. So got to check that out. But yeah, this is a damn fine double IPA.
It is good.
Woo! It's a bit chilly up here.
It's getting more and more.
Yeah. Well, this is it's been a fun little beer tasting from the top deck of the Disney Fantasy in the middle of the ocean. We are just outside, I think you said 30 miles from Grand Bahama Island in Freeport. So not too far from Bahama Islands. Next stop, tomorrow morning, we're going to wake up. And Matt, you're on the port side, so you're going to have the view of Castaway Cay. This is my favorite place in the Bahamas. And I love the other islands. Nassau's fun and stuff like that. But Castaway Cay, you want to talk about fake. When you see it and when you're there in person, you're like, there's no way this is real. It's like you're in the Truman Show.
Yeah.
The water is crystal clear. The sand is so fine. When you get in the water and you put goggles on, you can see like a mile away. It's absolutely insane. There's some snorkeling. There's a water slide in the middle of the ocean. They have food. They have adult beverages. We'll be able to get some beers out there, which we'll partake in. And you're going to love it.
Yeah.
It's my favorite place. I love the look on the kids' faces when we get there. That's what it's all about. This is truly what it's about. Being the beer dad, being a dad, having kids, and seeing their faces when they light up and they get these experiences, because it's something that I want to do for my kids, because I didn't get it when I was a kid. And it's not because my parents were bad or anything. We just didn't have the means or the funds to do it. And so I work very, very hard, and I want my kids to have these experiences because, one, it teaches them about different cultures and different countries, and they get to see things that we can't really see where we live. We don't have crystal clear water in the Pacific Ocean. If you go to Hawaii, it's kind of clear there, but not like the Bahamas. And so they get to snorkel and they learn about fish. I love to take the kids to SeaWorld and they learn about fish and sharks and dolphins and stuff like that. So it's really cool for them to see it up close in person. One of my most favorite places to visit. So I'm excited for you guys to see Castaway Cay.
Yeah,
it's really, really cool. We might sneak over to Serenity Bay, which is the adults beach, and get some ribeyes, and then also check out the sandbar. I was telling them about it. So there's a sandbar in Castaway Cay where you can actually take your chair, and you can take that chair and you can move it out in the sandbar, and it actually feels like you're sitting in the middle of the ocean.
Gee.
It's so cool. And it's just a breathtaking place. So stay tuned for pictures, videos, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, beer dads alike, I hope you enjoyed listening to some of this, and I hope we gave you some tips and tricks for the Disney Cruise Lines for those of you that are going on the cruises soon, which I know some people reached out already and have been asking questions. Apologize if I'm not getting back to you soon. We have zero reception out in the middle of the ocean, but when I get on the islands, I do, so I'll try to check my messages. But when we get back, I'll upload everything. And I hope you guys enjoy this little episode. We're going to have some special treats for you at the end, so stay tuned for more. Next time you hear from us, hopefully, will be from a live beer tasting in an Irish pub in the middle of the ocean in the Bahamas. Cheers, everybody. All right, well, here we are. We're back. Check it out. We're here for a beer tasting. A little noisy. We haven't gotten started yet, so stand by, but we just wanted to show you around. This is O'Gill's Irish Pub here on the Disney Fantasy. There's Bartholomew right there. He's ready. You ready to rock? Look at that. Look at that nice lineup we got going on. He brought the game face, so stay tuned.
What is beer, right? What are the three main ingredients when we make beer? Water. All right. Okay, so
Water.
we're going to put them into categories. The first one I heard was malt. So we're going to put malt, barley, all of those ingredients,
Grain.
including sugar, grain, thank you, into one category, right? The second category is
Hops.
no.
Water.
Barley, grain, all
Water.
of those are going to be in one category
Oh,
together.
okay.
The second, yes, yeast.
Yeast.
Yeast is number 3, and number 2 is going to be what gives it volume. Water,
Water,
right?
yeah.
Now, on this ship, the bartenders believe that water is the most important ingredient when it comes to beer making. It's because they've been on board longer than me that they believe that water is super, super important. I'm not saying water isn't the cornerstone of human life, as well as in religious ceremonies. We use it for baptisms, it's very cleansing. But the reality is, not on this ship, water's quite abundant. Let's be honest with each other, even in a frozen form, like y'all are seeing it right now in North America. The reality is water is important, but due to the fact that bartenders only have access to salt water, and brewing beer with salt water only leaves you dissatisfied, the reality is water isn't my most important, all right? The second one we're going to branch under barley, wheat, all of those grains, carbohydrates, all right? We're going to call them even sugars to an extent. The reality is the most important part of beer making is yeast, all right? The magical enzyme that is yeast goes into the solution and breaks down those sugars and expels two things. What are the two things that yeast expels?
Alcohol.
Alcohol and carbon dioxide, as well as a third kind of thing as well, esters. Esters is the scientific word for flavor, basically, and you'll get esters uniquely from whatever grain you have or however the yeast reacts in that solution. All right, so water being quite important, but for me, if you take a fermentation tub and you throw in your grain and you throw in water and you seal it up, what's going to happen after 2 months?
Sprouts.
Sprouts, but more than that, nothing. right? You're just going to have really soggy grain. But as soon as you introduce that magical enzyme, that is yeast, into that solution, it's going to start fermenting. It's going to get funky, right? As a result, we're going to get alcohol. Now, do we know when we first saw brewed beer making? Or when was the first time it was recorded? You know?
I don't know. There's arguments, but sometimes back to the days of like the Egyptians.
So the Egyptians definitely, there's an argument to be made there. They would give their indentured workers a little bit of mead and alcohol once a week as a result of not really a reward, but kind of enough minerals and energy to keep them going. But the reality is we've heard that there is even further back to 5,000 years ago. Hi, sorry, dear. Are you here for the beer tasting? No problem. It's going to happen a few times. I'm just going to try and keep smiling. Alright, so 5,000 years ago, Mesopotamia was the first time we saw recorded fermentation. Alright, what they would do is they would make a really thick brew, right, that would still have all of those carbohydrates in there. They would push it back with a leaf or a pushback, and they'd consume that low alcoholic beverage. The beverage was between 0.2 and 1% alcohol, but due to the fact that they lived super hectic lives, let's be honest, they used to hunt for their food, they had no cars, they didn't have any complex fats, no complex carbs. The reality was that low alcoholic brew got them to buzz, got them drunk. Do we know any animals that like to get drunk?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, what's this? Yeah, any animals?
Goats.
Goats? Seriously? Has a goat stolen your beer before? So the ones that I like are sometimes pigs. People mention pigs. My favorite one is the raccoon. Is anybody here from Indianapolis? Have you guys not seen the raccoon that went viral recently?
Oh, yeah.
Broke into a convenience store, drank all the beer, and then passed out in the toilet. All right, he was a great boy, very good trash man. But the result is also pigs like to get drunk. There was a pig in Australia that drank 18 beers at a campsite, then decided to go and fight a pig.
Oh, man.
Fight a cow. It lost to the cow and then ended up passing out in the bush. All right? We know that people and animals like to get drunk. One of my favorites is the hummingbird. So what do hummingbirds drink or consume? Sugar water. Those are our two ingredients, water and sugar. We add the yeast that's naturally in the air, and fermentation can occur. So hummingbird flies around, consumes this low alcoholic brew. It's really small, so it gets drunk, passes out on the floor. I don't know what's going on in a hummingbird's life that its hummingbird wife is giving it so much stress, but I can relate to drinking to blackout multiple times in a day when getting stressed out by my wife or fiance. All right, my favorite one as well is to talk about Wojak the bear. Is anybody a military man here? Anybody do any service? Oh, first time, man. Normally there's one hand that pops up and everybody thanks him for his service. Except I'm the one doing the seminar. Anyway, have you guys heard of Wojak the bear? He's from Poland. So some military men, yeah, they found him in the woods, decided to adopt him, right? They fed him beer, cigarettes, and bread. And as a result of being a bear, he grew really large. Because there was specifically an artillery branch, he was an artillery bear. He would bring the mortars and the artillery shells to them so they could continue fighting. He was promoted 3 times and outranked most of the guys he served with.
Wow.
And as a result, at the end of the war, that branch emblem ended up being a bear. All right. When he retired to the Ireland Zoo, whenever he heard Polish, his ears would perk up. And because he was a brother in arms, of course his brothers went to visit him. When they flew over to Poland, they would throw him cigarettes and beer. And to this day, he is still recognized as a member of that army when he died in like the 1960s. I think it's really cool. Now, do we know which is the largest animal on the earth that likes to get drunk? Hint, it's from my country. It's a land animal. I'm from South Africa, by the way. If the accent didn't give it away.
Kangaroo?
Yeah, say it louder. Kangaroos are not from Africa. So. What part of Mexico are you from? He said elephants? Elephants is the correct answer. So, I lived on bush school from 9 until 14 years old. Basically, the only time we ever got driven to school, we used to walk about 2 miles a day to school. The only time we ever walked was when there was a lion on the property. Fun fact, if you do see a lion in the wild, you're supposed to take a t-shirt, put it above your head and make yourself look bigger. Also, fun fact, your neck and your throat is now exposed and you die quicker. Alright?
That works with grizzlies too.
As well? Perfect. Also, they like to get drunk. So, how do elephants get drunk? Have you guys ever heard of Amarula, the liqueur Amarula? Yeah? So it's basically Baileys that went to private school in Africa. It's absolutely delicious. It goes down really well on crushed ice. Now the result is the marula tree, hello, no problem. Yeah, thanks. So the marula tree has a really, really large fruit with a big nut and is super, super sour or tart. And as it lands on the floor, it ripens. So what the elephants will do a 6-week or 3-week pre-game where they will go and bash the tree with their body and the fruit will fall to the floor. Does anybody know what animal Zazu is from the Lion King? Toucans are from Mauritius, sir. They are a hornbill. He is a yellow-balled hornbill. All right, and he has the right enzymes in his digestive tract to break that seed down. And then when he poops it out onto the floor, if the right soil conditions are met, a marula tree grows. Now, when Amarula tried to get bigger, they planted 100 marula trees. Only 11 took. That is because the marula tree does not want to be industrialized. The truth is, when the elephants do their journey, they will travel 5 yards, 10 yards, 500 yards, 1,000 yards between trees. But they'll always go for about 13 to 20 trees. They'll bump it. They will return to the first tree when the bush comes alive. Meerkats, baboons, monkeys, all of these animals start gorging on this fruit. Even leopards are known to come and eat this fermenting fruit. As a result, the elephants will consume between 50 and 80 pounds of fruit and will move tree to tree to tree to tree, basically performing the world's longest pub crawl. It lasts for six weeks, and it coincides with their mating season. Just a fun fact, the elephant's trunk is not the longest part of its body, in case you don't know that. And as a young kid learning algebra, right, it's really awkward sitting in class and hearing, because they're a matriarchal society, they cheer each other on, all right? Awkwardly, right? So, I really like how the link to intelligence shows how you like to get intoxicated. So as a result, do we know which marine animal likes to get intoxicated?
Dolphins.
Thank you. I led you with that intelligence part, right? So, do we know how dolphins do it? Dolphins have a specific click for pufferfish. As soon as they see a pufferfish, they'll make that noise, and the adolescent male dolphins will pull off. What they'll do is they'll go get the pufferfish and they'll start slapping the pufferfish, and it excretes its venom, and then they will pass the pufferfish around. Kind of like what we see now with young kids in our society, right? So I think it's really cool that no matter how you get intelligence or gain intelligence, you want to switch that off for a few seconds. Okay. So those are my fun stories. We're going to quickly talk about the tongue. Do we know what is the 5 parts of the tongue? Yeah? What do we taste? Sweet?
Sweet, salty.
Sour? Salty? Bitter? And what's the last one? Asian cuisine.
Umami.
Umami. Yeah. Anyway, umami is the biggest one currently.
There you go.
Now. If we think about back like 15, 20 years ago, if you went to your grocer and you looked for soy sauce, you were getting one brand of that and no miso, no nothing. Now we have complete aisles dedicated to this. All right, we all know we like steak. We all know we like bacon. But we lack the vocabulary to understand why that fatty, salty richness was what we were after. And that's why umami has become such a cornerstone of flavor now. What are we missing when we think about the senses? What are we missing? Think about Mexican cuisine and Indian cuisine. Heat, spice, all right? Do you know where spice is processed? It's processed through your nasal cavities, right? That's not saying that you don't feel the capsicum's reaction on your mouth, around your cheeks, on your tongue, down your belly, and your down south mouth. It burns everywhere. But the reality is that is processed through your nasal cavity. And as a result, have you ever eaten the chili when your nose is blocked? Right? You go back in, it's really delicious. The next day you go and try that same chili and it burns. That's because you're not able to process all of that heat. All right, enough about this. Let's grab our first beer. We're going to grab the beer that is closest to that wall. All right? I know my glasses look fancy. That's because I need something fancy in my life right now. I live on a ship. So, let's have a look. We got some really pretty lights above us on the Disney ship. Let's have a look. Raise your glass and have a look at it in the lights. What color would we say this is?
Gold.
Yellow. If you look at mine, it's quite faint.
Liquid.
But I definitely agree
Liquid
with you.
gold.
There's a golden hue to it. All right. Let's go in for a big sniff. Let's go in for a big smell. What are we smelling?
Bread.
Bread. Yeah. Thank you. Agreed, man. Bread. A little bit of funkiness to it, right? That's that fermentation, that yeast. There's a crispness to it. Even though we need that to taste in our palates, we can definitely tell that this has got a crispness to it. Now take a big sip, coat the mustache if you're lucky enough to own one, and keep going. Cheers. Cheers. Also, I'm going to do something called the Disney sip. It is a tiny sip, just so I can continue gracing you guys with this good knowledge. So, a little bit bitter on the tongue. A little bit bitter on the tongue, yeah? Followed by a really nice, refreshing sweetness. Very light, very easy, very approachable. What do we think of this beer? You like it? Stella. Yeah? Did you shout out Stella? Nice.
It's a good description.
No, it's not Stella. It's very close though. What style of beer is Stella Artois?
Belgian.
It's a lager, all right?
Yes.
So this is a lager. Now, I compare my beers to neighbors, all right? And as a result, lagers are the Ned Flanders of neighbors. This is a great man. He is easygoing.
Ned Flanders.
He has a wife and 2 kids. He's a good man. He attends church every Sunday. He is approachable. Our kids can play well together. We could spend hours at each other's house. Lagers are approachable. Lagers are easy drinking. Lagers are easy going. That's why you'll see at any sporting event, all right? The sporting event has 50,000 people, and we put 2 robust IPAs on tap. We're going to have 4,000 really happy people and 46,000 disappointed people who say that they can't drink the beer. The reality is that would be bad capitalism, and in America that doesn't stand, right? That's in your constitution. I think it's like number 7. So, have we heard of the phrase Americanized lagers? It's an informal phrase. All right, Americanized lagers are referring to these new breeds of beers. All right, which generation is drinking the least?
The newest one.
The newest. It's definitely not my generation. We've lived through 2 financial crises before 50. I'm binge drinking every day I can. You guys will relate, right? So the reality is the newest generation is not drinking as much. Now, legacy alcohol companies, the ones that distill, saw this trend happening a few years ago, and they started to pivot. What they did was they would introduce flavored vodkas, flavored gins, and new things to grab the attention of the new drinkers, all right? The hope was that if they can convert someone to drink their flavored, by the time their profile comes in or depression is hit, they will drink their same alcohol straight, all right? The reality is beer companies took a while to catch up, but that's what they've started to be doing, all right? They're adding these really low flavored, really easy drinking, low in carbs to apply to that sportiness and that active lifestyle that this new generation has, as well as the fact that this new generation has very many forms of intoxication, right? I sell a non-alcoholic cocktail for $11 and the same cocktail for $10. All right? Without the booze. I don't know how to justify
Crazy
that,
talk.
but we sell them. It just doesn't make sense to me. The reality is they also have different forms of intoxication, such as like hard teas or passing the pufferfish or CBD. They have all of these options to get drunk or get intoxicated.
The lacing.
And therefore they're not seeking
Good
out
stuff.
the traditional methods. Now, what are we smelling, tasting about this beer? We still like him? Easy going, light, fun. Do you have any points about a lager for me?
It's just one of the traditional styles that most people are used to.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's approachable. A lot of people that say, I don't like beer, they think of beer as being heavy and dark, and then they get this and they can drink it. Unless they're the ones that like the fruity things, then they want all the fruit in there and the flavor and stuff like that. But
So for me, the other thing that was interesting is when Europeans are told that American beer is great, or they're going to try an American beer for the first time, they end up trying your Miller Lite, your Coors Light, your Michelin Ultras.
It's water.
And they refer to it as water, and that's
Yeah.
being nice. They have another prefix towards it. So I do apologize if I keep directing some of my conversation that way. Can I tell them what you do?
But
Or you want to tell them?
I don't care.
You don't care? I feel like I'm putting it out and you're getting a little bit embarrassed. Are you alright?
I'm good.
Okay, so here's a beer drinking podcast. Alright? Beers and Dads? What's it called?
BeerDad and Brewed podcast.
Alright.
Yeah.
Give it a follow, give it a like. Apparently I might end up on it. I really hope not. But the reality is he has a lot of experience in beer, and if you guys did too, I'd love you guys to chirp in and make it a little bit more interesting. Let us move on to beer number 2.
Ooh.
Let's get in this beer. I'm going to tell you at the end. All you get to know is it's a lager for now. Or Ned Flanders. So, you're going to see there is natural sediment that occurs in this beer. That's why your neighbors or your friends' beer, Nathan, you guys hear what I just said? Yeah? There's going to be a natural amount of sediments in these beers.
Yum.
And that's why some are cloudy and some are not cloudy, okay? Yeah. They're all the same beer, I promise. I checked myself. I sipped every one of your glasses before the second. Disney sip only. Okay, let's have a look at it to the color. All right, compared to the first one, especially when it is hazy, I see more of a hay or a straw color, right? If we go in for a big sniff, this one is going to have a lot more of a funk towards it, a yeasty breadiness. For me, if I add a cigarette
think it
ash
is.
on top, it will smell like every bar.
You gotta
at 10
recognize
o'clock in
it.
the morning.
Tastes familiar.
But in a good way. It's dry. Some of the tasting notes for this is you're supposed to smell pepper, crisp green apple, all right? But again, as I said, I can't taste leather in a lot of things, and I assume most of you also don't know what leather tastes like in a beer, right? Unless you're a really kinky like. So, let's have a big sip, let's go in and taste. So, comparatively to the first one, this is a little bit more bitter, a little bit more funk towards it, right? Do we like this? What do we think about it? Yeah. What do you think? Good? Over there? It's all right. It's not Mission Ultra, which I've been serving you, so now I feel like it's the wrong seminar.
Threw him under the bus.
What do you think?
It's all right.
It's all right?
Good for one beer.
I think so as well. Do we know what beer style this might be? Wheat. A wheat? It's close.
Yeah.
Around those areas. Any ideas?
Wit.
Pale ale.
An ale? It's an ale, definitely. So when we think of beer, we have the subcategory, the word beer. We have two shoots off. We have lagers and pilsners, ales, stouts, and porters. All right. This is definitely on the ale side of the wall, and specifically this style of beer is called a farmhouse ale. Anybody aware of farmhouse ales? Have we had farmhouse ales before? They're super funky. Now this specific farmhouse ale is called the quintessential or the benchmark farmhouse ale. The one thing I love about Disney is the reality is because it is a legacy company, it also chooses the brands that it wants to align with due to their legacy. And this one has a great legacy. So, with farmhouse ales, who harvests our grain? Right? Over the years, for the last hundreds of years, who has been harvesting our grains? It's either been the farmer because before TVs and his 13 children, or it's seasonal workers. Seasonal workers come in, they tend the farm, and then they go back at the end of harvest, right? Now, what I love about farmhouse ales is this beer was created to be a reward, right? On the last night of the harvest, the farmer cracks this open and thanks everyone at a feast for coming to tend to his fields. What he does is halfway through the harvest, he looks at all his spent grain, his damaged grain, anything that he's not going to be able to sell, and he starts brewing this beer about 2-3 months ahead. And as a result, we have these farmhouse ales. And I really like that story, knowing that even back then, farmers would give thanks to the people that they knew made them great. All right? Do we like this beer? Yeah? Yeah? Do you like it?
I like it.
She said, yeah. So you said, yeah. Happy wife, happy kids. All right. For me, I always compare my beers to neighbors. So this neighbor drives an F-150 pickup truck. He has dirt on the side. He's always blaring Post Malone at 7:30 in the morning while he goes to drive a tractor somewhere. And as a result, I've phoned the HOA on him many times. Right? I peek through the blinds and I keep telling him that his car hasn't moved for 30 days and they need to get rid of it. I don't like this neighbor particularly. All right? It's not that he's done anything bad to me. It's not that he isn't part of the neighborhood. For me, I just wish he'd move somewhere else because he keeps chickens in the back, and that's completely against the HOA guidelines. So for me, I don't like this neighbor. What do we think? Good beer? Easy beer? Good. Yeah? No? He says while going in for another sip. No.
Those are the two farmers.
Yeah, those are too far. Oh, really?
Yeah. Go figure.
So, one of the realities about flavor profiles and smells and stuff like that is it's very similar. It has a big corresponding link towards how you grew up. If you grew up on a farm, you might smell something that elicits a positive reaction. Whereas if you grew up in the city and you smell something and it reminds you of the gutter, that's going to elicit a negative reaction, all right? The reality is even your socioeconomic
That'd be a bad
class,
beer,
where
huh?
you grew up,
Yeah.
impacts the way you smell things, even where you are
You
in the
liked
world.
that one, didn't you?
All right,
Yeah.
let's move on to beer number 3. All right, this is my personal favorite beer of the lineup today. I've always enjoyed this beer.
Oh. Oh boy.
All right, let's have a look at it in the light. Or through this giant thing at the back. All right, this has definitely got a golden, amber, dark hue to it, right? Right, when we go in for a big sniff, everybody take a big sniff. What are we smelling?
Clean.
Clean? Caramel, I get the caramel.
Spice.
Spice. What about banana?
Yeah.
There we go. So,
That's the
when you
star
say you
anise.
smell something, I'm not going to disagree with you. Not because I don't have a backbone, but because the reality is the sense of smell and the sense of memory are right next to each other. So when I was growing up, whenever I smell potpourri, it transports me back to my grandmother's house. All right? She used to have 2 lounges, one for everyday use, right? TV, couch, everything normal, and then a white lounge with white carpets, white furniture, and a mahogany table with the tea set out in case the Queen wanted to visit a random woman in Africa. My gran was ready, it was her go time. And on that table was glass-blown candies, all right? Now these glass-blown candies, one year they mixed in real candy, and me being a heavy-set child, I would repetitively go back throughout the years to look for these candies mixed in with these glass-blown candies. Because the carpets were white, I walked in and they would see me walk out as well because of my footprints. So I started going in one way and then walking in backwards, as the hope being that they would assume it was a candy stealing ghost. But nonetheless, it didn't work. Now, when my grand passed away 3 years ago, I was left something in the will. Can we guess what it is?
The candies.
It was a glass-blown candies, yeah. And I then set it out for my son this year, and he is now obsessed with it. I believe my bloodline will worship glass-blown candies in the future, and will have no idea why. This is the reason. All right, so jumping back to this beer, we've got some spice, some toffee, some caramel. Specifically, I smell banana. You guys might smell banana. It's, we were part of the colonies, so we're speaking the proper English, just so you'll know. But yeah, there's also, if you think about it, the smell of bread. Again, a lot of beers are going to smell like bread, because the reality is one of the most common ways we get fermentation in is through bread. Let's go in for a big sip. Coat the mouth, get a good taste of this. Oh yeah? I think this goes down really easy, right? Can we taste and feel a little bit of a warmth at the end of it here? Yeah? That is because this beer has one of the strongest alcohol percentages I have given you here tonight, today. This beer sits at 10% alcohol. All right? Do we know what style of beer this might be? Any ideas? It is definitely a quad, spot on. But it's a Trappist. So, what does Trappist mean? It means that a celibate man brews the best beer. Alright?
A monk.
Do you get what that means? Who said it? Who said it?
A monk.
Someone said monk.
Yeah.
Right? So, do we know where we first saw distillation occur on planet Earth? The hint is they no longer drink liquor in this part of the world. Middle East. Okay? In the Middle East, specifically in old times, they were obsessed with smell. So they created something that, for distillation, they created perfumes. And as a result, I believe a British gentleman walked into a bazaar in the Middle East, took a sip of a perfume, and decided, to the horror of the entire bazaar, that this was delicious, and he's going to add tonic to it, and now he has a gin and tonic. But the knowledge of distillation filtered through Europe, through Europe, all the way to Scotland, Ireland, all of those places. As a result, they would stop off at specific spots, monasteries. Okay, monks were the first people who started brewing beer and making alcohol. You can think about Friar Tuck. He had his own style of beer, even though he was a Disney character. Now, do we know any famous monk liquors? Liquors that were made by monks? I got the one right in front of you if anyone wants to guess this one. Do we know what this is?
Frangelico.
Frangelico. Do you know why it's a monk liquor? Because it is dressed like a monk. There is his robes, there is his tassels. Alright? Do we know any other monk liquors? We're thinking of Benedictine, Luxardo. All of these famous alcohols had their start with monks. Do we know which monk's alcohol was ruined by college bros? Awesome. So, yeah, what do you think?
Jaeger?
Yes! This is the first time time someone has gotten that before, I had to do the whole explanation. So an American was really tired. He flew to Thailand on the red eye. He asked for, where can I get a Starbucks to pick me up? The taxi driver took him to a convenience store and said, go in, grab this glass bottle with a bull on it, take a drink. He took a drink, he immediately fell in love with the idea, brought it back to the States, added more caffeine, more sugar, carbonated it, and so Red Bull was born. Now what's interesting about Red Bull, as a business tactic, instead of going into Walmart and all these other stores, he decided, I'm going to target the nightlife and the extreme sports industry. And so the Jaeger bomb was born, right? Now, I feel like it was a huge missed opportunity for the bartender to name it after himself, because if I called it an A-bomb, you guys would be enjoying it a lot more. I think it would have gone down well in history. Anyway, so this is a quadruple. This is a Trappist beer. Now, on Trappist beers, you will see a hexagon. Not a septagon, not an octagon, not a pentagon, a hexagon. The reality is there are only 6 Trappist breweries. We call them the Trappist 6. All right, they're the only ones who are permitted to make beer in this style. Might get this part wrong, but as far as I know, they have to be made by monks. We're using the water source that is there, as well as the spent grain has to be fed to cows. Yeah? So those are some really happy cows. What happens when you give fermented grain to cows? Do we know? They get drunk, but their milk is sweeter. That's the reality, right? So they're doing it for
there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, not fermented, but like definitely a chocolate milk with some kick, let's be honest, alright?
Wagyu.
Imagine doing it to Japanese cows, I like it. So, this beer, do we like it? What do we think about it? My farmer's in the corner, what are you thinking?
It's better than the first one.
Okay. Thank you. Over here, what are we thinking? You like it? You like it? Do you guys like it?
Prefer Chimay.
Chimay? Yeah, so Chimay is one of the only... they're one of the... Let me show you the bottle, guys. So Chimay is one of the only Trappists that is a beer that ages like wine. Right? The longer you keep it in the bottle, the better it gets. With dark fruits and toffee flavors. It's really quite awesome. I used to have 2022s last year on board, and they were phenomenal to drink. I do apologize for telling you how better the experience was last year. Yeah.
So what was this?
What do you mean?
Like what was that?
I tell you all my beers at the end, so I don't kiss and tell.
Sorry,
Right? We've got to have some mystery to this relationship, okay? I
think Pat knows.
As always, I compare my beers to neighbors. Now, my fiance Kate makes a really nice banana bread, super plain. But the lady across the street makes one better. All right, she has nuts and cinnamon. She's really sexy. And I sometimes look across the street and think about the banana bread I could have had.
Wow.
Yeah. For me, this is a beer I can visit once a week. But due to the fact that I like a happy marriage, I have to pretend like she's ugly and her banana bread doesn't exist. But the truth is, in the back of the mind, I'm always thinking about the banana bread that could have been. All right. So
I love
this
it.
is a fun beer. I think it's an easy drinking. Yeah. It's the girl next door beer. Right?
The girl next door beer. I like that.
It's the beer that when she asks you what do you think about this person, you say I never met her. What are you talking about? The house across the
Trappiest
street is
beers.
abandoned, isn't it?
The girl next door
Is there
beer.
a ghost? For sale.
That was great.
So, what I want you to take away from this beer, specifically the Trappist, it's made by monks. You'll never forget that because I called them celibate. All right? Trappist 6. You won't forget that because there's 6 of them only. Not a scepter, not an octa, not a penta. 6 Trappist monks, right? And the fact that you have to use, as they are religious, they have to use the abbey's water. It needs to be made by monks, and it also has to use the spent grain has to be given to cows. Now, I am aware, or I've heard about some Canadians who told me that there was a beer in Canada that they tried to make exactly like the Trappist. They even had them fly out and try and give them certification, and they refused. Right? The beer is as good, but due to the fact that it's not made in Belgium or in the specific region of Europe, they refuse to give it to them. Well, come on, man. They need something. They just lost in hockey.
Twice.
USA.
Oh, you guys Canadian? Oh, man. I'm so sorry, my friendly Americans. I do apologize. There's normally less of you.
It's
or none.
It was a unibrew beer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, the same beer that Le Fin du Monde, the same brewery.
Really?
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I've always wanted to know, but no one's been able to give me that. So Unibrew, Unibrow, yeah?
You know, they make the best beers.
Phenomenal. So if we do know Le Fin du Monde over here means end of the world,
Yes.
it's because they were referring to Quebec being the end of the world. I think that's the best thing ever. I assume anything after Quebec, you just fall straight off the world. All right. Moving on, I'm doing good for pacing. Let's grab on beer number 4. So this is my
gonna be
favorite beer.
funky.
This beer throws a spanner in the works. Yeah, it's definitely fruity, yeah.
It's like grape juice.
Let's have a look at it in the light. What color do we have?
Oh, that's a sign.
Raspberry. It's red. Have a big smell.
Raspberry beret.
Gorgeous. Now go in for a big taste, okay? And let it roll on you, alright? First sip, sour. Now look what happens to your tongue. You start salivating. The sweetness comes through. Alright, a little bit of like, you're supposed to get a hay note, but I don't know how that happens. And for me here, this is one of my favorite beers because there isn't many that are made this way anymore. Have we heard of a phrase lambic beer before?
Oops, sorry, I spoke too
What
soon.
makes lambic special? You know?
No.
No?
I just know that it's just.
It's just a style.
I just know that it's just red one.
Yeah, so this is definitely the framboise. Nice, you finally got to name a beer before I did, huh? So this beer is a lambic beer. What lambic refers to is open top fermentation. What open top fermentation is, when we ferment, specifically any of your home brewers, you will try your absolute best not to get any other types of yeast in there to mess with your brew. You want to have that yeast in there so you get this really delicious pineapple and tropical fruit IPA. Any other yeast gets involved, you could ruin your beer, it could taste terrible. So the result is, yeast is always a very controlled thing. Now if we look at human beings, we've been industrializing things for years. Yeast has started to become industrial. If you think about us, we're always looking for excellence, for people that things that rise to the top. So if we brew 20 beers, and of a few of them, we get a 4.2, a 4.7, and a 4.7. We're going to take that 4.7 and we're going to remake that beer with that. After a few generations, we're now going to get some 4.9s and some 5.2s. We're going to keep using that. And so on, until we get beers that are able to, yeast that are able to brew beers at 7.2, 8%, without any form of secondary fermentation. This is due to the fact that we have been supercharging yeast using industrialization. Now, with this beer, it prescribes to the complete opposite thought of that. The whole idea is you take all your ingredients and you leave the top open. And you let the natural yeast that is around us, right, start this fermentation.
What?
Right?
Sourdough.
I think it's a really interesting thing.
much?
But here's where I lose a few people. All right. Now we find beers and breweries in hipster cities, right? But before that, where did we find beer making? You guys should know. Farms, right?
Yeah,
Farmers used to
farms.
grow up, right? There needed to be an abundance of crops, an abundance of something to facilitate the making of beer, right? So as a result, where do we think this yeast might come from? Shit. Yeah, spot on. All right? There's no way to candy coat that, all right? That doesn't make this poo-poo beer, all right? But what this does mean is that some of the yeast that might be present in the beer might have passed through the digestive system of a cow, all right? Or a sheep, or a goat. That's why some of them have light hints of hay. I think that's super unique, the fact that this is also throwing back to the old world style of brewing beer. And I think for this one's expression, it's really delicious. Now, with stories, I turned 33 on this ship. I turned 33 years old. They had us do something called Firewatch, where they dressed me in full PPE, including goggles, a helmet, a smart mask, and earplugs. And what they did was they gave me a squirt bottle and a fire extinguisher. And if they were welding on the other side of this wall, I would have to stand here and watch in case a fire happened. Alright, the shifts were 4 hours long, and by the end of the fire watch, which lasted a month, I was praying for the fire. I was rooting for it, okay? The reality was they also told us they might do something called paint watch, and I completely believed them, because I thought watching paint dry was equivocantly the same as doing fire watch. Yeah, you did it.
What's the alcohol content of this one?
So, what do you think?
I'm no expert on this.
Me neither, man.
Three.
You can hear that I just keep talking stories, but yeah.
Let's go 3%.
Yeah, you're actually spot on. It's 2.7% alcohol. As
Very
a result of it not being yeast that has been cultivated to brew a high brew, the 2.7% is actually quite phenomenal for what it's getting, right? And as a result, you can drink a lot of these. The reason I know that, I turned 33 on the ship, and during that Firewatch time, I love me some poker. I started at around 9 o'clock at night. I finished the game at 5 in the morning. I was only drinking these beers. I had 5 of them, and I came second.
Attaboy.
The best $1,000 I've ever made.
Yeah.
Probably the only 1,000 I've made in poker since. But yeah, it was my favorite memory of being on board the ship, and that's why I love this beer. Now, let's talk about this beer as being a neighbor. All right, this neighbor again lives across the street, but she's in her 60s. She has bright red hair, and you can see that she was hot once upon a time. But gravity has taken the best of her. She still walks around in high heel shirts and a nice mini skirt, but the reality is we can see through this facade. She is no longer a cougar, she is a snow leopard.
Yeah. Snow leopard.
I like this neighbor. She adds a little bit of distinct characteristics to the street, but the reality is I can't go over except for that one night where I did it 5 times. Does anybody else enjoy this beer? Does anybody else like it? Any other points to it? Yeah, you like it? You like it over here? Over there? Is it growing on you a little bit? Yeah. Remember, my name is Randy from Jamaica, not Alex from South Africa. So when you review me later, I only say good things about Canada. Okay?
I was just, it does, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I was gonna say that for you have friends or family that always tell you I don't like beer, or like my wife, she's more of the sweet wine type drinker. This is the perfect like gateway drug to get her to the beer side.
What I always do is recommend it to my guys, to my seminar guys, and most of them actually come back the same day with their wives and split one of these.
Yeah.
It's a nice way to enjoy it. This is a lot of guests when we were in Europe said that they like to have this at Thanksgiving, right? Because the truth is, alcohol shouldn't be taboo, right? If we make alcohol taboo, we have kids that binge drink. So introducing this to kids at Thanksgiving and giving everybody a small glass so they feel part of the ritual and understand why alcohol is part of our conversation, I think this one would be great.
Blocking you with all the
Because even if
glasses
they
over
the whole
here.
bottle while you weren't watching, they'd still be sober enough to drive you home. At 7 years old. But yeah, I like this beer. I shouldn't, but I really do. They did a peach flavor and a lemon flavor, so I didn't only have the redhead, I had the blonde and the strawberry blonde as well. It was great. Anyway, moving on, we're going to go to our last beer. I'm doing great for timing. This is perfect. Sorry, I have to pat myself on the back sometimes. Let's go in for our last beer. This is supposed to be the people pleaser beer, the beer that you guys have all been waiting for. Yeah? What is it? IPA, 100%. Oh yeah? Awesome. So that reaction reminds me of a guest's reaction over there. I once asked a lady, she said that IPA tastes like window cleaner. So we asked her, how does she clean her windows? To which she replied, 1 for the windows, 1 for me, wipe.
That's good.
As I said, depending on where you grow up in the world, is how you will smell or react to certain things. She was from England, and she smelled this, and it smelled to her like a pine cleaner that we use in restaurants, right? That's what she got. And some of the tasting notes of good IPAs is pine, citrus, and a little bit of spice. So, when we're going in here, let's have a big sniff. What are we smelling? Shout it out, no wrong answers. Spice? Oh, grapefruit. Nice. Grapefruit? So, you just mentioned it, right? These beers, are they the coldest beers you ever received? No. Is that because I'm a lackluster bartender or because we're trying to do something? Yeah. The first one, right? Thank you from the cheap seats. I appreciate it.
Yeah, just
So the reality is, at a beer tasting, much like some of the alcohol tasting you've done, what we want to do is we want the beers to open up, and that is regards to a little bit of science. All right. If we think about collision theory, the more you heat something up, the more the particles run around, the easier it is to smell things. When you cool it down, they condense a bit. and specifically these beers, they show some of the things the brewmasters are trying to hide. If you liked any of these beers, even a little bit, now, when you taste them cold, they're gonna taste better. All right, I promise you that. Now, this beer to me has a little bit of honey notes to it, or a sweetness that I can't put my tongue on. Let's go in for a big sip. Taste, taste, taste. What are we tasting?
Tasty.
Yeah, I definitely get that sugary caramelness. There's a bitterness to it, but I don't think this is as bitter as what we were expecting from an IPA.
No.
Yeah?
I'm drinking an idea at all.
Yeah, it's approachable, right? Especially I think at this temperature, you would expect it to start pronouncing those notes of that hoppiness more aggressively, but this is very much more toned down. I like using this beer as my IPA seminar, my seminar beer, because of how unique it is in that regard. Now, we're going to start the high risk part of my seminar. Let's get this rolling. What is the disease that we associate with seafaring people, with pirates?
Scurvy.
Scurvy, phenomenal. 1 for 1. All right. So, what is the cure for scurvy? Citrus. Do you see scurvy and Navy men sitting every morning with a grapefruit and a grapefruit spoon, eating this grapefruit and discussing their feelings? Not a chance. They would drink it, right? We drink our feelings. But the truth is, I wish it was a beer that they consumed, but the actual thing they consumed was called a grog. Does anybody know what a grog is? Yeah? So a grog is Navy-proof rum, between 150 and 190 proof. All right? Yeah, man. Sugar
Hoorah.
and the citrus that was rationed for that particular period of time. And what they would do is they'd create a grog, and then the first mate would take a ladle and this grog, and you would issue it out to every single person. Because we're curing scurvy, but giving up everybody else the same diseases.
Yeah.
All right, this was before the 1900s where they started to do it in steel cups. Okay, but before that, everybody was getting the same. All right, the reason it was done by the first mate was because ship full of dudes, guys. We're going to exchange alcohol and favors and things like that. So as a result, it needed to be kept with a strict eye and consumed in front of the first mate. Because what do we do with a drunken sailor early in the morning? We toss him overboard. Yeah, man. Okay, so this is the second high risk moment. What is the main disease associated with Africa and not that one? Malaria. Who said it? Got it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I know. Someone once shouted it out. That's why I add that last part.
It's not
It's a real damper on your days when someone shouts that out really loud. Okay, so malaria. Do we know? Okay, so the British were expanding, right? It's a very nice phrase for what they were doing. And as a result of their expansion, especially down into South Africa where I'm from, they were pushing my ancestors from the Cape all the way to the Orange Free State. Now, our rivers run slowly. Africa is an old continent. And as a result, our rivers have a lot of that, the bacteria that causes malaria in mosquitoes. Now, as a result, the British soldiers were dying out at a faster rate. And specifically, they're poorer soldiers than their gentlemen soldiers. And that's because their gentlemen soldiers came across with a specific drinking tradition. Do we know what that tradition might be?
Gin and tonic or tonic water.
Spot on. What is in tonic water?
Quinine.
It's pronounced quinine. I'm from the
Okay.
colonies. No, you guys pronounce it quinine.
Yeah.
We pronounce it quinine. All right, so quinine is a natural mosquito repellent. When you consume gin and tonic together, you sweat it out, and the mosquitoes don't bite you. Fun fact.
Now
my
we can tell the
ancestors
wives
lived
that,
on a
right?
magical
Just,
space route
I'm being
for
healthy and I'm
Yeah.
keeping the
So how did
mosquitoes
we
off
survive
us. Yeah.
mosquitoes? We noticed that if we just stood downwind from a fire for 5 minutes, the smoke would stop the mosquitoes from coming at you. And that's why if you've ever been grilling and your wife says she's getting eaten by mosquitoes, and you're standing by the grill and you're like, there's no mosquitoes here, everything's great. That is because you're standing in that smoke and the mosquitoes are eating you. All right, so we have quinine and the gin and tonics, right? The whole idea behind it is they would give it out to their soldiers at around 6:37 at night. So my ancestors being masters of guerrilla warfare, what time do you think we attacked?
7:30.
7:30. Spot on. We would go in there and kick some ass legitimately as soon as their drinks kicked in. I love it. It's my favorite part of our knowledge. And then the last part of when the British were expanding is IPAs. So IPAs, where are IPAs made? What do they stand for? Indian Pale Ale? Where were they made? No, false. It was made in the UK. Alright? So, what do we trade with a new population so that they think we're really cool? You have a branch of government dedicated to it.
Whatever is cheap and abundant.
Even
Put 'em out
more. Alcohol, guns, and alcohol, tobacco, and firearms. If you meet a new population, you're going to introduce them to those three, and they're going to think you're amazing. All right? If you have the power to kill someone from far away, you're great. Alcohol has always been a part of human tradition, as well as smoking. All right? Tobacco has always been part of the human. Yeah. Do you smoke now still, sir?
No, I do not.
What a pity. We could have had a cigarette together.
I had many years ago.
Oh, yeah? I've always had the phrase, there's only one road to your lungs and it should be tarred. I don't know if you guys have heard that. All right. So, it was being made in the UK, and they would go around the nose of Africa, down the bottom where I am, and then shoot towards India. And as a result, their beer was going off. So they spoke to their brewmasters back in the UK, and they decided to increase the hops. By increasing the hops, it effectively increased the bitterness, making it less hospitable for bacteria to grow. That also resulted in the alcohol going up, making it less hospitable for bacteria to grow. The third thing they did was they left yeast active in the barrels or in the casks. So it was still fermenting as it transported. Getting to that high alcohol point, then the yeast would drop and settle at the bottom, all right? Making it more shelf stable, even though it was definitely sitting one deck below the sunlight on a ship that took 6 months to get there, all right? They didn't have refrigeration. This was the way that they kept the beer from going bad. All right. As always, we compare my beers to neighbors, and this neighbor and me have openly had a fist fight in the street. I put a small piece of his ear off. My kids fought his kids. My wife fought their wife, and I don't know if we won or lost, but the cops were called. The reality is, I do not like IPAs. I'm from Africa, where we drink lager. Mainly, we're lager drinkers. But I don't think this dude should be in our neighborhood. But every Sunday, he has a barbecue. And hundreds of people are outside his house. And I'm staring through those blinds, writing down their number plates. Or their, what is it, you call them vehicle registrations? Yeah.
License plate.
I'm writing down the license plates of people I do not like. All right, that is because you might be visiting this neighbor weekly, but I cannot stand this guy. I think he is brash, he is bold, he poked me in the eye. I therefore retaliated by biting his ear, but it's okay. All is fair in love and war. Okay, do you guys like IPAs?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Usually I
Well,
don't.
I think
but
if
this
it's
one
cold.
was drink. This one.
When it's cold.
It would be cold, good, and it would be a
Depends.
good go with a meal, I think.
It's a bit. I don't want to start with IPA. If I start with one,
Yeah.
or a real good one, then everything else is.
I like hazy IPAs. I don't like.
Yeah.
So we have Torpedo, which is from the same company, Sierra Nevada, which started the whole hazy IPA movement. Now you guys have milkshake IPAs. I don't even know what else. Apparently in the UK they have window cleaner IPAs. They're all popular and they all have a spot. The truth is, right now for me, IPAs are brewed with the flavor of a scrub daddy and an old sock. The whole idea is they need to be as extreme as possible in their marketing or whatever they're doing in order to stand out. And I just don't relate to IPAs. There's been one IPA I've enjoyed. It's called the Bone Crusher. It's from South Africa. It is an IPA brewed with the botanicals of gin. All right, and for me, it's delicious, it's aggressive, and it kind of tastes more like gin than anything else. Now, as I said, we're going to show you the beers at the end, and unfortunately, this is signaling that we have come to the end. The first beer we tried today was Estrella Dam. All right, this brewery means a lot to me because when I joined Disney, we landed in Spain. All right. We were in Barcelona. A friend of mine took me for beers. We visited a church that's taken 200 years to get built. And then the next morning, Disney woke us up at 5 a.m. to drive to the ship to become members of Disney, right? I drove past this brewery. I saw the logo, I saw the star. It was an Austrian man who made this beer. He came to Spain and he used the star as a sign of European excellence and craft, right?
Very nice.
So first beer, Estrella Dam. Second beer is Saison Dupont, all right? 6.9%.
Yep.
Apology, 6.5. I just wanted to say that number, I guess. Saison Dupont is a phenomenal beer. It is the quintessential and benchmark of what we call a farmhouse ale. If you come and have it cold, I promise you, you'll enjoy it if you enjoyed it now. The next beer we have is one of my favorites, the banana bread lady. This is Le Trap. The Trap.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That was the best one.
Yeah, agreed. It's a quadruple. She sits at 10% alcohol. And this is the beer I run out of the most on this show. This is the first one that keeps going. I don't know where people have found it or why, but it just consistently disappears. The third beer, fourth beer, thanks to Nathan, has been identified as Lindeman's Framboise. Alright? It's delicious, has a gorgeous pink top. Whenever you share it at a table, it's always a conversation piece. I do think it's quite lovely. And then does anybody know what the IPA is that I served y'all?
No.
Any
You
guess? Any guesses? No?
Where's it from?
That time.
I don't know where it's from.
No, it's too
What's
final.
the first letter?
Starts with a D.
The shoots? No.
Oh,
Yeah, the first part of its name is it likes to bark.
Doppelbock.
And the next part?
Doghead.
Dogfish Head.
Dogfish head.
90-minute IPA, right?
Yeah,
I've heard of the 120-minute being a lot higher in alcohol
Yes.
and a little bit more aggressive, and I heard that the 60-minute is a little bit more grapefruit or citrus notes. But this one here definitely has that approachable IPA flavor to it. All right, it wouldn't be a beer tasting seminar if I didn't show you some outliers, some beers that have left the realm of being beer and have now moved into their own, I personally think, category. So, have you guys ever seen Samuel Adams' Utopia?
Yeah.
Are we aware
Yep.
of it?
Yep.
Cool, so this is a 30% beer that I think left the realm of being beer and now is liqueur. I was very lucky to have a YouTuber come on and he sat here and he tasted this with his seminar. He bought a bottle for everyone, or bought a bottle and shared it with everyone. And at the end of the cruise, he decided that he'd like me to have a bottle at home. So he took me an entire bottle of this.
How do you serve it?
How do I serve it quickly? The truth is, it needs to be served cold, right? I put it in a brandy sniffer, and then we had some chocolate and some cheese with it to help elevate and get some good experience. But the truth is, it is banned in, how many is it? It is banned in Alabama, Arkansas, Georgia, Idaho, Missouri, Mississippi, Montana, New Hampshire, North Carolina, Oklahoma, Oregon, South Carolina, Utah, Vermont, and West Virginia. Right? If you belong to any of those, this is contraband and this is really cool. But the reality is, and I'm going to put this to you guys delicately, at $472, it is more than the average wage of my country. So I'm going to put it down gently, but it is always something cool to have a look at and see where beers are going. Now, on that note, I just wanted to say a big thank you guys for joining us for today's seminar. I know that some of you might have had a hard experience getting to today, and I do apologize from my management side as well as my side for any of the miscommunications. For me, Alex, any positive comments that you guys put in your surveys go a long way for us as crew. For me, my son had his second Christmas in December. Due to positive comments, I was able to go home a month early, and where I was able to see my son's second Christmas. And because me and my girlfriend have been dating for 10 years, I decided to finally propose. And we have a kid together. I needed to check the goods, I guess, right? But the reality is, any positive comments or additional gratuities are really appreciated. Otherwise, from me, I just want to say a big thank you and a round of applause for sitting through. We are done, and we were expecting more people to join, so you're going to see a lot of beer flying on the outliers. You all are welcome to it. Please enjoy it. Have a good time. If you need to go anywhere, you're more than welcome to leave. If you want to stay, you can stay.
Cheers.
But it ain't just beer, it's the dad life too. Kaylee on a rimmer, and yeah, he comes through. Dad jokes fly, make the whole room groan. Laugh so bad they're good, yeah, you already know. Family first with a pint held high. Teaching love life and when to let it fly. Gone but not forgotten, raise it once more. Joshua Kunkel, brewed man forevermore. We drink to you loud, yeah, your legend lives on. Mighty fine pints poured up in Valhalla, my son. Shout to Brandon Gray, Brandon Rice in the mix. I loving brothers with the killer beer fix. Now John Matson rolling IPA craze, dank, bitter, hazy for days.